This is a short video that I want to do. Um, Inshallah, I'll try to post this in different places and get the word out. As I said, the last couple of videos I did quite a few on advice. Did a couple on the time, but just depending on you know, the topics and conversations that I've had with people in the last couple of weeks. And so I kind of base a lot of times those videos on, things I talk about and things I get into conversations with people about. One of the things that the question I guess is being asked is why this virus? Why has this happened to us? And so so many stories and so many things that we hear and so many things that we see that are going on across the world, not only just here in the United States, but across the world. And so we ask the question why. Only Allah knows why. He has the secret to the past, this future reference, and also right now. Only Allah knows. So you heard me talk about in the Holy Quran some of the past civilizations and how heedless they were, because what happened with a lot of those civilizations, they got an abundance of things that they got. It was wealth, material things, just land, just everything. They had abundance of everything. And so in a short time, those civilizations, those people began to brag and boast about what they had got, what they had accomplished. They began to forget about what Allah had allowed them to do, and through His mercy and grace allowed them to do. They began to forget about that. And so what happened was, in so many of those civilizations, Allah brought a calamity upon them because of the idea of them becoming so arrogant and so boisterous about what they had accomplished. Mind you, they were referring to themselves, what they had accomplished, what they did. We did this, we did that. And forgetting about the fact that Allah, through His mercy and grace, allowed them to do these things. And so you see America today has always had an abundance of everything. You name it, and America has had it. And this is no punishment, or this is no indictment on anybody, because this virus is affecting people all over the world. It's not just here in the U.S., but it's all over the world. It happens to be at this particular point that the numbers are increasing here in the U.S. like they were in some of the other countries, like in China and Italy and some of the other countries. In some of those countries, you see the numbers going down. So that's one part of it. Allah knows the future. The other part of it is, and I keep hearing this, and it's a serious piece that I keep hearing keeps coming up and being talked about, is this 5G thing, which I think is a serious piece. And the people are not paying attention to this. They're really not. And so it's like the people have kind of been lured to sleep. And when it comes to the black community, we just really kind of out of the picture, because we be so busy getting high, be so busy partying, trying to buy the latest gear, the latest fashion. We just be way out to some in some other zone. That's what we be at. But you see, in a lot of the major cities where they have put out the National Guard, the state trooper, SWAT team, local law enforcement, whatever they put out, that's to contain people. And so at the same time, they're talking about there's some discussion going on about this 5G and the effect of the radiation and how and what that can have an effect on a person's body. Now, oftentimes when these kind of things occur, usually the person is considered to be a crackpot, or they discredit that person with any kind of claims about something like this. And at the same time, if the government is doing something, technology has put something into place, they're not going to, if you think that they're going to reveal and tell you about this, then they're not. That's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. And I'm not saying the virus is not real. Yeah, it is real, but the virus could be, like I say, Allah knows what we know not. But at the same time, the virus could be something that's coming from somewhere, that's something causing that. And I know the fact that Allah knows best. But we better pay attention to what's going on. We better pay attention to what's happening. When they begin to have these discussions about the radiation, and think about it, radiation has a devastating effect on the body. I mean, a serious defect on the body. Radiation does. You know that radiation does. And heat, if I'm not mistaken, heat is something that can get rid of that, or maybe in a I'm not sure about the heat factor, but in some climates you see where it's cold, and you don't see the kind of people really dying and stuff like they are here in the U.S. and some of the other countries in climates where it's cold at, because that has something to do with that, with the radiation. But I'm saying this is something that we better pay attention to, and I know we're not. I understand the virus is spreading, it's increasing, the numbers are increasing all across the country. The numbers are increasing, but inshallah, Allah will lift this. This is the thing we have to keep praying for. We have to keep our prayers up, keep our du'as up, reading Quran, all these things, because Allah is the one that can lift this trial and this test that's been put on us. Allah is the one that can lift that, and that's the only one. Man has plans, Allah has plans, and Allah is the best of planners. We have to always remember that. So, and that's all we have to rely on. We don't have anybody else, anything else. And so, at the same time, while we have a virus going on, we have people who are taking advantage of that. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. In some of those biggest cities, like in Chicago and St. Louis and some of the other places, yes, we have a serious virus going on. But I would urge the black community, don't find yourself playing into these people's hands. Yes, the virus is real. People are dying all the time, and the numbers are increasing. At the same time, don't act heedless and play into their hands, because if you allow that, if you play into their hands, you're going to find yourself in a situation where the experiment, a vaccination, any of those things you'll be open to, because you'll be in a situation where you will not be able to get out of it. And this is the critical part about this whole thing of going on. Yes, it's a serious virus, but at the same time, they can experiment at any level they want to while this virus is going on. They can experiment. They can do it within the major cities. They can start with any major city. When they declare state of emergency, when they declare martial law, when they declare curfew, any kind of experiment they want to, they can do it at that particular time. And if you're one of those people who like to run the streets, who like to hang out, You like to do things you know you're not supposed to be doing, getting high, drinking, all that stuff. If you place yourself in that situation, it's no telling where you may wake up. And I'm not talking about waking up from no club. Because look, all of the entertainment has just about been shut down. That has just about been shut down. So if you somebody just out on the street, or you can't stay in the house, or you looking for something to do, or you looking for some action, then you'll get it and you'll find it, but it will not be what you think it's going to be. I said this again, and I repeat myself again, that these kind of situations, like we have with the virus going on, which is a serious thing, but the doors have been open to do and try so many other things with experimentation during this time. They can go in and experiment in Chicago, they can experiment in St. Louis, and these are places where in their minds they've had a lot of trouble with black people. See, we don't think about this. I don't know what we be thinking about, period. But my point is that this is a time when they can experiment. And you'll look up and you will find yourself somewhere and you don't know where you at or nothing. And let me also add this tidbit with this too. In a state when things are going on like they are now, in a state of emergency or martial law, they don't have to let your family, friends, nobody know if they decide to snatch people up off the street. If they decide to arrest people who are in violation of state of emergency or martial law, once they snatch you up, they do not have to let anyone know where you are at. And they won't tell anybody where you at. You just disappear, just like that. But see, we be so busy doing some crazy stuff that don't make no kind of sense at all. And you can continue to do that if you want to, but I'm telling you, you'll wake up and you will not have any idea where you're at. And they will not tell you. And you ain't going to get no phone call. Don't think you're going to be able to get no phone call and call nobody. No. Once again, this is under the guise of state of emergency, and it's under the guise of martial law. And when that happens, the people who are in control of the law are the local law enforcement people in every major city. They can do as they please. They can take you off in some remote place and don't have to tell nobody, and they are not going to let you make no phone call, and you ain't going to know where you're at. So just wanted to share a little bit of advice with you. We'll be, inshallah, coming back from time to time, bringing you some videos and just trying to inshallah, get the word out.